Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video I want to go over some guys that stood out from Commanders mandatory minicamp, which ended on Thursday. Want to go over about 5 guys that impressed slash stood out, and I'll talk about each guy in depth in today's video. But before we do, make sure y'all leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, turn on notifications, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. First guy up is Marshon Lattimore, and he had a really good mandatory minicamp. A lot of fans were giving Lattimore a hard time for not being there at voluntary OTAs, which I understand to an extent because, I mean, yeah, it's voluntary, so you don't have to be there. But in Lattimore's case, you know, he got here last year at the trade deadline, and he only played in like 4 or 5 games for us and only played in like 9 games the entire season, not including the playoffs. If you include the playoffs, I think it's like 12. But, you know, he just wasn't healthy last year, and he did not look great for us really at all. He did not look like the Marshon Lattimore we were expecting, right? And most of that is due to him not being healthy, right? That hamstring issue. And a lot of fans thought that he would be there at OTAs, you know, to build more rapport with his teammates, get more acclimated with the defense, and just recover in the facility, right? But he was not there. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I know that's something he did in the past when he was with New Orleans. He never really showed up to voluntary OTAs, so I didn't know that he was going to show up to mandatory minicamp because it's mandatory, and if you don't show up, then you'll get fined. And he showed up, and on the first day, just judging off the videos and clips I saw, he looked super quick, saw that speed, didn't really see an injury or hamstring issue at all, so he looks healthy. He even spoke to the media in his little media scrum, I think after the first day. He said that he just wasn't right last year, and this year he feels healthy. He feels like he's got his burst back, and I definitely saw that in the clips for sure. On the second day, he had a really good day. He did a good job of covering Noah Brown in 7-on-7 and 11v11 drills. Obviously, Noah Brown got injured later on in practice, but before he got injured, Marshon Lattimore did a really good job of covering him. And again, he showed off that quickness, that burst that, you know, we expect from Marshon Lattimore, right? He's a great athlete. It's just a matter of staying healthy, and hopefully he does this season, because if he is, he can be an absolute baller. And with him and Amos on the outside, Mikey Sanderson on the inside, this secondary can be really, really good. So once again, Marshon Lattimore, he is one of the guys that stood out to me during mandatory minicamp. Next guy up is Deebo Samuel. I thought Samuel stood out a lot during mandatory minicamp. Heard a lot of good things about him. Saw some clips. He looked really, really good. And as you guys know, as you guys probably know, on Wednesday night, Scott Abraham, he posted a clip of Deebo Samuel, you know, running a route, and it was during installs, and a lot of fans of other teams, like Eagles fans, 49ers fans, Cowboys fans, they made it a big deal saying, oh, Deebo Samuel's fat, he's out of shape. And it's like, I don't see it. Like, am I missing something? He doesn't look out of shape to me, in my opinion. I feel like, to me, it's the number. Like, number 1 makes Deebo look less proportional, in my opinion. When he was wearing number 19, it made him look more proportional, in my opinion. Made him look, I mean, I would say, because he doesn't even look fat in number 1, right? He doesn't look out of shape, but I guess in number 19, it kind of made him look more in shape, I would say. But the thing is, Deebo, he's always had this body type, right? He is a run after catch / yards after catch guy. So he's got this bigger build to be able to do that, right? To be able to run dudes over. I mean, I remember the Dolphins game last year where he ran over like 2 defenders to the end zone. He wouldn't be able to do that if, you know, he didn't have all that extra muscle on him, right? I am not going to call Deebo fat. He's not fat, in my opinion. I don't think he's out of shape. I think he looks fine. He's been working hard. I mean, I've seen all of the workout clips he's posted on social media, his Instagram specifically. So Deebo's working hard. He knows what this year means. If he does not ball out this year, then he will not get a second big contract, right? And if he does, then he probably will. May not be with us, but could be for another team. So we'll see. But Deebo, he connected with Jaden a couple times during mandatory minicamp, a lot in 7-on-7 and sometimes in 11-on-11s, right? And again, judging by the clips, he looked pretty quick. You saw that yak ability at times. The Commanders' social media account posted some clips of Deebo Samuel. One clip where he leaped into the air, caught a pass from Jaden Daniels in the end zone, and another one where you saw his yards after catch ability or run after catch ability, right? So I think Deebo Samuel is going to have a big year, and he looked really good, in my opinion, during mandatory minicamp. Next up, we have another receiver, and it's Luke McCaffrey. And Luke has had a really good offseason, and this 3-day stretch of mandatory minicamp, we heard a lot of good things about him, man. He connected, or Jaden connected with Luke a couple times on the first 2 days. I'm pretty sure on the first day, Luke had a really nice catch and run from a pass from Jaden. He took it into the end zone, went for about 25 to 30 yards. So we love to hear stuff about that, man. Last year, fans gave Luke kind of a tough time, even this offseason. And it's because he was drafted in the 3rd round and he put up only 140, 150 yards last year, right? So obviously we want more from Luke, but we also have to remember that when we drafted him, he was only playing receiver for 2 years. So at this point, he's only been playing receiver for 3 years. 3 years, including college, right? Because he made the transition from QB to receiver when he got to Rice. So that's something we do have to remember with Luke. He's still raw as a receiver, and the transition from the NFL or from college to the NFL for receivers are different, right? They're different for all receivers. It would be nice if you got a guy to have a Neighbors or Brian Thomas type season, right? But, it's not the case for all guys. And with Luke, that was not the case. So it's good to hear, good things about Luke during this time. And hopefully that continues in training camp, because if Luke steps up this year and has a really, really good season, I'm not even, expecting crazy numbers from Luke, right? 600, 700, 800 yards, right? But if he puts up 300 to 400, maybe even 500 yards, a couple of touchdown grabs, that would be a great season from Luke McCaffrey, and that would show that he's progressing as a receiver. So it's good to hear that Luke is standing out, and he was definitely one of the standouts during mandatory minicamp. Next guy up is another second-year player, Ben Sinnott. He had a really good mandatory minicamp. He hauled in a couple of nice passes from Marcus Mariota. They connected a few times on days 1 and 2 of minicamp, including one on the first day. It was a deep ball down the sideline from Mariota to Sinnott, and he hauled it in. And that's just good to hear, man. Like Luke McCaffrey, we are expecting more out of Ben Sinnott this year. And last year, he just didn't have enough opportunities to be, a good pass-catching tight end, right? To show why he can be a good pass-catching tight end in this league. And that's because of Zach Ertz and him turning back the clock, sort of, right? We did not expect to get what we got out of Zach Ertz last year, especially, I would say after the bye week. After the bye week, man, I mean, Zach Ertz was absolutely balling. The Falcons game was great. He had a touchdown versus the Cowboys. He was really good versus the Lions, the Eagles in the championship game, and even before the bye week, right? Versus the Titans, versus the Cowboys. So we got a lot out of Zach Ertz last year, more than we thought we would get. So Sinnott's opportunities as a receiving tight end decreased, and Zach Ertz, he's gone after this year. So this year, Ben Sinnott needs to show why he can be the tight end 1 of the future of the Commanders. And I'm really hoping Ben Sinnott will ball this year, because if he does, then we're going to have our tight end 1 of the future. Last guy up here I want to talk about is Chris Moore, wide receiver. He's kind of been putting up a solid offseason so far, man. We've heard a lot of good things about him in mandatory minicamp and even in OTAs. So that's super interesting. On the final day of mandatory minicamp, he hauled in 3 passes in 11v11 drills from Sam Hartman. And before that, he hauled in a couple nice passes from Sam Hartman again and Marcus Mariota. So, hey man, watch out for Chris Moore. with Noah Brown going down, we still don't know what the injury is. So hopefully we can find out soon. If it is season ending though, hey man, Chris Moore, maybe, just maybe, he could find himself onto the roster. Likelihood is he's probably a practice squad guy, but hey man, you never know. If he really keeps balling out, he could find himself to the roster, right? We'll see, but this is a guy that has been balling out so far, and we'll see what he does in training camp. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below who stood out to you during the Commanders 2025 mandatory minicamp. We're entering the dead period, but I will still be coming out with videos pretty much every single week. So make sure y'all got notifications on to not miss a single one of my videos. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.